It's continuing coverage of Hampton-Dumont-CAL boys basketball with head coach Matt Lokenvitz after a 55-50 win over Charles City tonight. Had a 13-point lead, kind of let it slip away there for a while, but still able to come on the road and, most importantly, get one in the win column here tonight.
Yeah, that's what we talked about when we got in there, and I'm not a big moral victory guy. They know it. I hate looking at some of those things where it's like, well, you lost, but you're getting better. You know, I hate looking at that stuff. And I go, the fact of the matter is that sports is about winning. Sports is about, you know, your stats, those types of things. And so I walked in there and I said, I'm not a moral victory guy, but I am a victory guy. And we won and we got it done. There's a lot of stuff we've got to work on yet. Man, I think we only made 2 threes and we shot a ton of them. They just packed the paint with 3 guys on Brady and just said, shoot the ball and see what you can do. Aiden hit a huge one there in the end, which we had to have because they were just packing the paint on us. So we're going to get better again. We're going to keep working and keep striving to do these things. And the boys just got to get confidence and being able to knock down those shots when they're open. But I can't say enough. Those 2 guys that were just up here talking, Brady and Caden, 26 and 13 again, or maybe 16. I'm not sure how many Caden had, but he had a lot of points there, and I thought it was great of him he kept running the floor. He was tired. He was exhausted. He doesn't get a break, and he just keeps running the floor for us, and we get open shots and easy buckets and easy run-outs. So we're going to get better. We're going to keep working at this thing, and we'll see. Victory is a victory. I'll take the 55-50 win.
You bet. Yeah, I had Brady for 26, Caden for 13 here in this one. 2 of 17 for 3. Did you feel like you had to kind of settle for some of those sometimes, just kind of forcing some of those up? What was your take on that?
Yeah, so I thought we did in the first half. I thought we settled way too much. They were out on us, and we had some opportunities to penetrate, get the ball to Brady, do those things. And we just didn't do it. We kind of lazily passed the ball around the arc, and all of a sudden it's 8 or 7 seconds on the shot clock, and now you've got to force up a dumb shot. But when we were really looking into that first half, when we finally started getting the ball inside, we finally started doing those things, we got the shots we wanted to, and then we started to drive the ball, dish. But in the second half, when they just packed the paint, the only way to shoot them out of a zone is to shoot, and you can't. We tried to drive and we did those things, but it just got so cluttered in there. So we're going to get better. We're going to work on some different things. We're going to work on some different rotations so that we can alleviate Brady, whether it's screen action, whether it's kind of pull him out and then push him back in. Some of those things where we can't allow the other team just to come in and pack the paint on us and just force us to shoot outside.
It moves you to 4-6 on the year. That 4th win, it matches all of last year. So, I mean, to get that at this point of the season kind of shows, year to year, you guys are definitely in a way better spot here at this point of the year.
Yeah, and that's what they wanted. They won 4 games all last year, and we talked about it before we came up to Charles City here tonight. They were in the same position that we were this year. They were in the same position last year. They were 3-6 coming into the Charles City game where, they let Charles City get them, and then that was a string of a lot of losses then, where then they didn't get another win until Iowa Falls, later on in the season, which I think was close to February. So I think they went that whole month of January with not a great win in there. So, as you're kind of going through that, so we talked about that and said, if you can get this win, you can kind of turn the tables here from last season to this season, which then propels us back to NCC work here at Clarion on Friday. And if we can go in and get one from Clarion, now all of a sudden the wheels can start turning. We can start doing some of those things. But Clarion's playing really, really good basketball right now. So we're gonna have to get to work here Wednesday and Thursday before we get into that game.
Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, an important stretch of games coming up. You'll be playing some meaningful basketball here with, you had mentioned Clarion Goldfield Dows. And then next week you start to see some teams for the second time.
Yeah, and when we get Clear Lake, we haven't seen them yet. So, they're next week. I believe next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday. But things start turning over again. We start seeing people for a second time. We got the win against Webster City, so we know we can go in and compete. In that one, we had a 7-point lead on Humboldt at halftime, and then we let that slip away. We know we can compete there. And we've been able to compete with a lot of these teams. So when we start turning it over, then now it's what adjustments are they making? What adjustments are we making? How much better are we than the beginning of the season? How much better are they than the beginning of the season? Excited to see this stretch kind of go through these next couple weeks to see where we're at that halfway point. We'll get done with Clear Lake and see, okay, here's where you're at. Can you now improve on that second half? Can you win more games in the NCC in the second half than you did the first half? If you can, you're probably up and around that 3rd and 4th spot in the conference. If you can't, that's where you're down in that 6th or 7th or 8th spot.
All right, well, just about out of time, but NFL thoughts like share here tonight.
No, I'm proud of how the kids, they were determined. They fought through it. There in the last part, we called timeout. We drew up some plays. They ran them the way we wanted to. We didn't like that pass out there, and Caden knew that. And he's like, as soon as he threw it, he goes, oh, man, Victor Ward gets it and goes down for a layup in the last seconds there. But they ran what we wanted to run. They kind of knew what we wanted to do. So we're proud of the way that they're competing. We just got to get better at our skills and the actual development of basketball.
All right, well, that's HD Cal head coach Matt Lokenvitz. Appreciate the time and congrats on the win here tonight.
Thank you.